Hello, this is EJK, and I'm going to be doing an analysis of one of Innovation's game played on stream in early December of 2016. It's going to be a TvT between him and a Korean barcode player played on the Korean ladder server. A lot of different things have been happening in the TvT matchup. The most important changes notably include a buff to the Raven auto turret ability, the removal of Cyclone's anti-air defensive capabilities, and the removal of the tank evac as well. All of these changes have created a metagame of a more Heart of the Swarm based strategy style stuffs that we're going to be seeing in the near future. And with the map being Overgrowth as well, I don't see this being any more of a flashback to Heart of the Swarm than it already is. Oh, except that we have a Cyclone that doesn't do anything. Anyways, so in this game, Innovation is he's going to be going for a very old Cloak Banshee opener. He doesn't do any scouting as well. That was part of the build. It was a Heart of the Swarm build, actually. And the reason why this build fell off was because the Banshees became essentially useless after the Cyclone became a unit, and its anti-air was able to target down just any air units with relative ease. Now with the new Cyclone, that's not the case, and so Banshees now have a lot more power in when they're researched and when they're rushed in the early game. The Hellion's going to be used for scouting, of course. There's not really any scary thing to be worried about. In Heart of the Swarm, proxy marauders used to be relatively scary. However, you can just make a Cyclone now. Well, Cyclones currently have only 4 range, so Marauders outrange Cyclones by 2 range. So maybe with Concussive Shell you'll be able to kite the Cyclones. But Blizzard is considering changing the Cyclones back to 6 range to make them maybe not totally useless, but just a semi-crap unit. That seems like a fair compromise. So that if the Cyclones are returned to 6 range, then they'll be able to hold off any Allins relatively easily. But in their current iteration, they do almost nothing except tank damage. With the Widowmine out, Innovation is now able to secure the location to take his natural base. It is relatively late compared to his opponent, who went for a Reaper expand, I believe, or a Reaper Cyclone expand, I should say. He got a fast gas as well because of the timing of that Cyclone, but he chose not to make a starport and instead of playing offensively, chose to play more defensively instead and take a more economic approach to this game. The opponent has pretty good defenses. He has 3 turrets. He has the Cyclone that doesn't really do much, the Viking that is just about to pop out, and a Widowmine in position as well. All these are indirect damages that Innovation has caused at the expense of researching the Cloak upgrade, getting a faster starport, and rushing a Banshee out. So in terms of opportunity cost, you know, like who comes out ahead in their build openers, it's a relatively even exchange because Innovation has a lot more scouting information than his opponent currently. And Innovation is also going for a faster stim as well, so he's continuing to push his technological advantage. One of the benefits of going for fast stim like this is that if your opponent tries to do a marine tank push without stim, without combat shields, and just with air superiority, stim will be done in time so that you can catch your opponent. You can catch your opponent's army before they siege up in a critical location, like behind Innovation's natural, and essentially stim and kill off their army with relative ease because of the stim upgrade. So not only is it a good offensive timing, it's also strong defensive timing as well. We see Innovation going up to 5 Raxes. He's going to be doing a very simple, very solid 2-base marine tank timing. There's nothing particularly special about what he's doing. He's just going up to he's going to be moving out when his units have stim and when his 2 medevacs are ready, and then go from there. Very, very simplistic approach to an otherwise complicated game. Innovation starts to exert map control as a stim starts to finish. It's important to start to slowly position your army more aggressively to clear out A, the watchtowers, B, miscellaneous units that are out along the map, so that your opponent doesn't have a good idea of where you're going to move out. So currently, his opponent, or Innovation's opponent, knows that Innovation is out on the map. He doesn't know if he's going to be attacking into the natural, though, or into the 3rd base. Innovation, conversely, also does not know where his opponent is as well. And this initiates a sort of mini base trade. Now, Innovation's timing compared to his opponent's timing, his opponent has a 3rd command center. Innovation does not. His opponent does not have stim. Innovation has stim with combat shields almost ready to finish. So this is a very greedy overextension of the other Terran player's army, trying to both be aggressive while also trying to secure a 3rd base as well. And we see Innovation take a much favorable trade, mostly because he has a larger army, and his army is better upgraded as well. So now Innovation is on top of his opponent's production, while his opponent has just a natural contain outside of Innovation's base. Another big mistake here that his opponent does is that he leaves a lot of his army in Innovation's natural after killing Innovation's natural command center. Now, that doesn't actually serve any purpose to reinforce any sort of contain on Innovation's natural base, because Innovation only has 1 command center, whereas his opponent has 3. So simply defending Innovation's continuous pushes rather than trying to also deny Innovation's economy is enough to win the game from here, or is enough to stabilize into a good position to continue out the game in an advantageous position. Now, however, Innovation has combat shields done. His opponent doesn't have any production because it was camped on, and a lot of production add-ons died as well, like tech labs, reactors, and even buildings died. So his opponent now has almost no army to deal with Innovation's inevitable counterattack. The Liberators are a good choice, but they're sieged too slowly, and Innovation is able to break through, and he only takes the battle and wins, and then slowly sieges up because he wants to get in range of his opponent's command center. That was the goal of where he wanted to siege up his tanks, so that he can deny mining time. So now, even though his opponent has 3 command centers, Innovation has 1 base mining off of 1 command center, but his opponent has 3 command centers with 0 bases mining. good game by innovation, showing that superior decision making is always going to win you games against lesser opponents. GG.